We're here today to present to you the sign of our solidarity to you to show that we and our people are all behind you at all times. I want to be with you personally.
Open it.
Bring it. I could do the way. And then they go and natural way. Uka. I'm saying this is a Bible. Do the way.
I actually feel very, very excited and elated at this visit. And truly, I believe that my heart is now at peace. Because since the unfortunate incident, about 2 weeks ago now, it will be 2 weeks tomorrow, that I came back, I've been receiving lots and lots of visitors. I know that so many of you have come in person, but this visit is unique. It is special. I've received people from all walks of life. I've had calls from leaders across this country. I have received very key groups in this state, including the UPU. Unfortunately, some people are even trying to castigate the UPU for coming here. Why would it be? Everybody has the right to believe in the person he wants to believe in. Oh, yes. So if they came there on their own free will, why should people speak evil about them? It ought not to be. But that shows you that there are some people who are behind trying to do all manner of funny things to cause to be real what is not real. And secondly, beyond the UPU, church leaders in this state have visited me, the Christian Association of Nigeria. Even today, the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Delta State, came with their full escort. A lot of persons, a lot of groups have been trying to restrict it. The President Generals of all communities in this Delta North were with me yesterday. And so many people have come. But the political family that I belong to is very important to me. The Traditional Rulers Council in this state have been led here by the Roger Fokwe, who is the chairman of the Traditional Rulers Council. I appreciate all these visits, and I thank all of them. But there is a family, because I'm a politician. And what you have done today has given me peace. Whatever that is going on, I'm not worried. And I've spoken about it. That I'm not afraid to be investigated. I may not be a saint. Our Lord Jesus Christ only can claim to be a saint. But I know that I stepped out in there as governor with a full hope and desire to work with the people, not believing that I was going there alone, but to work with the people to give the best to ourselves in this state, within the limits of our resources. And together with all Deltans, we work together to achieve the best we could achieve in the very difficult circumstances in this state for 8 years. I still remember, but probably a lot of people have forgotten, and the people who are speaking now don't want to remember, that we had a very difficult 2.5 years. From May 29, 2015 to end of September 2017, where the resources coming, every resource of the state put together could not pay salaries of people. We had to sit down with the workers who saw it for themselves and they agreed to start receiving what they call net salary, which is just about half of their salary. For 2.5 years, we did that. When things improved by the special grace of God by 2018, we started to pay the backlog, not only of salaries, but we started paying back the backlog of pensions. We had pension arrears that was about close to 100 billion. That was a renegotiated arrears, because it was more than that. And we had to start paying across through the rest of the 8 years. So when we first saw the flash on the news, because when I was invited to the EFCC, first I was just trying to put up a statement that put the flash on the Okowa as detained. I knew it was political. I had known that it was political before I even came back. Because while I was overseas on holidays, they had already said out, one small boy they call Fejiro that is paid to do all these dirty things, had already written and published that I have been detained for 3 days. Meanwhile, I was overseas, I had not even been invited by EFCC. But they were planning the groundwork for a media trial. I'm not afraid of the media trial because the truth will come out. Neither am I afraid of the investigation because I know that we did the best we could within the limits of human ability. And I'm confident that by the special grace of God, our government set out in the best interest of the people, and we did things according to law. So I fear no investigations at all. Neither do I have anything against the EFCC. Oh, people say, why don't you go to court? I said, no. They have the right to carry out the investigation and let them go on. And they have been doing that since last year. The petition that they prefaced this thing on was a petition written as far back as last year. I may not go into details about how the petition and how they decided to begin to unearth things and to push everything. The only unfortunate thing is that it's principally from Deltans, and we know them, those that we fought, and they believed that Dr. Okowa and you people here with our current governor should not have been able to install a governor in Delta State. But as God willed it, we were able to work together and we got victory, and Governor Sheriff is on seat. So they connived with their friends. But the unfortunate thing is that one of our sons, I'm not going to mention the name, one of our sons is deeply involved in it. I have every information. It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But at every point in time, God has a way of speaking. Because when a man sets out to help, and eventually you try to pay that help with evil, the battle is for the Lord and not for me. And I'm confident of what I say. Because most times in politics, I try to do my best. As I said, I may not be a saint, but I try to go on the path that I feel is right. And I believe in forgiving people. Otherwise, there are so many actions I take for quick people come around me and say, oh, you took a wrong decision. But why I will not blame myself is that I learned to forgive and move ahead. But to God be the glory. But if somebody does you good and you hurt the person, the fight is that of God and not mine. So putting these ones aside, how does on earth, how can somebody go out there and communicate to the world that somebody misappropriated 1.3 trillion naira and put it to the pocket? The question is that do they even know what those figures are? 1.3 trillion? That is a minimum, if you calculate it, goes to about 16 billion on a monthly basis for 96 months. The fire, how do you even get it out? Even if you had it. How do you bring it out on a monthly basis if you even had it? But a very unfortunate incident, that is the communication out there. And unfortunately, some uninformed people will tend to believe such. But I'm not going to join issues with them because investigation is on. But I've asked my CPS, my CPS, who was able to put out a summary of the various expenditures that we had. We declared what we had through the tenure, including fact receipts, internally generated revenue, loans that were taken, and loans that were paid. Everything was declared in that. And we had a total through that period of 8 years, a total of 2.6 trillion naira. So what they are saying that half of the money was just taken and put into Dr. Okowa's pocket. How is it possible in a governance system? The question is that the monies that were there for the capital expenditure that we're seeing, the salaries that were paid, the pensions and social benefits that were paid, all running into billions of naira, the loans that were received that were paid, because we spent a total, the loans that I also met that were restructured, we paid a lot of money back on those loans. The ones that we took and also paid back, if you put it together, all those loans, it comes to about 300 and something billion. So all these things that have been put out there, and since he sent those things out, they have not been able to speak again. The only thing I heard somebody was saying, oh, that they didn't say he misappropriated 1.3. Some said it was 500 billion. When the communication came out, they now said it's no longer 500, it is 40 billion. You see, it's crazy. But to God be the glory, the communication has been put out there. But the important thing is that some people were set out to cash in on this invitation to do a media trial. But they have failed already. I want to reassure you that I'm not disturbed at all. I have my peace. You have just added to that peace that is in me. Because my language, so we're saying I have been seeing people. People have come. I've been very happy and I'm thankful to them all. But this visit by this political family is the real salt that has been put into the soup, and the soup now has a wonderful taste. They've accused me of many things, and it's very unfortunate that those things are things that are easily verifiable. And they have come in on their investigation, and I've asked them to investigate everything. This estate, thank God I own a building here. I don't deny my building is there in my code of conduct, Bureau from Declaration, but they say I own the whole of Liberty Estate. But when they came in, the first thing that struck them was that every building in Liberty Estate has a different design. So obviously it couldn't have been an estate owned by one person. And they went around to ask. And they saw that the buildings belonged to different people. It's very unfortunate. Even mommy here, mommy Kachiko is here. The son's estate in Abuja, they say it belongs to Okowa. And I'm aware that that estate, that particular land and the building started even before I got into the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Premium Trust Bank, they say I own Premium Trust Bank. All kinds of accusations, terrible thing. And even to the extent that I own 2 hotels in Asaba here, I don't even know the names of the hotel. When they called the names of the hotel, I was struggling. I think Charles Adiago did a good job at trying to say that. Because I don't, throughout my time as governor, when I close, I don't go around. So I don't know the names of hotels in the town because I didn't have any need to sleep in any hotel. People know me around. So when they call the names for me, I don't know. One of them, I think they kept on repeating it. So it's the Barrister who was with me yesterday that told me it is this hotel. I said, I don't even know where it is. Neither did I know the name. So it's all funny. So it's very unfortunate that we are where we are, where petitions can just be scribbled and written anywhere. But we have also asked them that as we investigate, also call these people to come and defend what they have written, so that if they are found wanting, EFCC should also charge them to court for giving the wrong information. Because apparently they are not going to give you a full disclosure of the names. So we just hope that they invite them to come and do the defense. But I want to thank you for this show of love. It's beyond just a solidarity visit. I take it personal because it is a family issue. When the chairman there turned up, and the state deputy chairman told me they were coming with anonymous, and I thought it was just going to be a delegation of a few people. So I thought I would just receive them in the house. But when Raymond told me, the number of people coming, now wow. And I came in here and I saw all our leaders, even those who are not at home, who have traveled down to be at this very meeting. You have, I won't say you surprised me because you have always supported my cause. But I must truly let you know that what you have done has touched my heart very deeply and for good. And may God bless you. May God honor each and every one of you. And may God open up the doors for each and every one of you in the name of Jesus. May God continue to guide our path and light up our path, that we'll be able to move into the future collectively as one, and to keep Delta State united and strong and prosperous. But very importantly, to keep the Delta North people together in strength, united, and ready to keep the flag of our people flying. May God truly bless you for all that you have done in the past and for that which you have done today. On behalf of my family, I want to thank you all. Here today, as I said, we have all members of the House of Assembly, all council chairmen, all party chairmen, all the commissioners, and our great leaders, very importantly. We thank God for everything.
Never in the history of this state have we seen the kind of development that we saw when you governed us for this year. What are we going to see? Many of us have been in Asaba for over 30 years. And we know the difference between Asaba before 2015 and Asaba today. All concealed of this. Most part of Asaba don't experience flood anymore, unlike before. At least, we can go anywhere in Nigeria and raise our head high, because when we talk of service, civil service, when we look at the structures that so many other states have, we can say, yes, we have one of the best secretaries.
We are aware, Your Excellency, that your journey started from being the secretary of the local government to becoming the council chairman, to becoming two-time commissioner, and of course, moving to become SSG, Secretary to the State Government. And you didn't stop at that. You are Adioma people, most of them are at home, but majority of them here also supported you to say they wanted you to be their senator. Yes. And you distinguished yourself as the senator. Excellency, one plan, but God plans better. Yes. You thought Senate was the end, but God said no. Yes. You can't go home. And He made you the governor of Delta State. Excellency, becoming Delta State governor, most of us see all the things that you did from 2015 to 2023. Most of us were asking ourselves, they call you roadmaster. We thought that would end. You came and engineered the political sector. I'm the beneficiary to that sector. Delta development. Today we have our youth carefully and self-employed. Over kindness and generosity. We have our mothers who lost their husband, that you decided to be their husband. And you made life meaningful to them. You didn't stop at that. Even the less privileged, those who could not see, those who could not walk, those who can't even hear, you made them to see by virtue of what you did for them. You made them to walk by telling them that even though they are less privileged, that does not end their life, that they can earn a living. And today most of them are self-employed. Excellency, you did all these things, and many of us here were asking ourselves, how do you make it? Where did you get the money? Little did we know that because of your foresightness, World Bank decided to smile at you and Delta State and supported you in most of these developments. So it's not just the issue of generated revenue from federal government, but also from external bodies, and they were very impressed with all that you have done. Excellency, you are the modern father of Delta State politics. And nobody can take that away from you. We can look at the bridges, schools, somebody mentioned the secretariat, and you can go on and keep counting. Most of the roads, hospitals, name them, universities, that today our brothers and sisters are proud to call themselves true Deltas. It's to their own credit. Yes. But what they didn't know, that today the health sector law that regulates the conduct of health institutions in Nigeria was to their credit. Very good. Excellency, you didn't stop at that. First Samuel 18:3 said Jonathan entered covenant with David. Abi? Yes. And as Jonathan loved David as his own soul. So, let me put it this way. That Okowa entered covenant with Sheriff Oborowole. Oh, yes. And loved Sheriff as his own soul. You gave us Sheriff, even when some of us were doubting. And you say you found in a noble man who will love your people of Delta State. In the history, we are also aware, in the history of Delta North, before, when the election comes, you will see people jostling for governorship. But during your time, you coordinated Delta North and not one single person. And promise made is promise. You made a promise that because the Delta Northerners were not recognized, but God did it and recognized us through you, and you became governor, that you will make sure that you don't betray your other brothers. And you stood by your words and handed over to a senatorial Delta Central person to become the governor of Delta State. Excellency, you did it, and the person you have handed over is not in any way disappointing Delta State. He has risen and riding on what you left, and he's cruising very, very well. That is why everybody here has asked me that will bring before Nigerians a vote of confidence on you and your successor, because you people are making Deltans proud. Therefore, I hereby move that having highlighted all the things that you have done, and of course handed over to your son, your brother, and he's still doing, that we hereby move a motion for a vote of confidence to be conferred on you and him for having made us proud and continually making us proud. I so move.
See, Polishington is is calmness. It's capacity to listen endlessly and just say one word and everything does it. I am Honorable Charles Chukwemeka. I represent Okowa West constituency in the Delta State House of Assembly. I'm rising here, standing here to second the motion as ably moved by the Mercurial into the Godwin Elumelu ISO 7.
No, but I know you say left, you don't have pass. Okay.